All right. Quantum of Solace. Let's start with our public reception, as we always do. Jason cheated. He read the scores.
I feel like I've done that on so many of these where
Yes,
I
you
just
have.
see the numbers, and I'm not sorry.
I know you're not. or yeah,
fuck
well,
you.
obviously you're not sorry because you can just keep doing it. So,
I need to
Mike, what would you guess the critic response?
Do you remember what Casino was?
Like it was in the 90s.
Okay.
It was
this
high.
one's
Maybe look it
definitely in like the 60s then.
Okay.
Soft 60.
Give a number.
62.
Don't be a coward.
Yeah,
Don't be a fucking
annoying.
coward. Hello?
Close, 64.
Oh yeah. Didn't deserve
Audience score. What do you think it is?
The audience one's typically higher, isn't it?
Sometimes.
Typically.
Dude, this movie was not as good as I thought it was. I don't know, 60.
58.
Ah,
Not too bad.
fucking idiot.
Dude, I was close. Two and two.
You should have looked at the numbers.
Should
There
have
is
fucking looked.
no
Should have cheated. What's wrong
Fucking
with you?
idiot.
no disparity of negative comments on the Rotten Tomatoes page. Quantum of Solace is one of the most listless Bond movies I've seen. The angsty truant Bond and his sulky ways get too irritating, the pout notwithstanding. Shouldn't a Bond film worth the name be simply enjoyable? Even a chase that ends with Bond and his quarry crashing through a glass dome onto a pair of scaffolding towers induces exhaustion rather than excitement.
Huh.
The positives: go see Quantum of Solace. Not that you weren't going to anyway.
Go see it now. And then come back here and tell me how you feel about it.
As always, Bond shines like a British señorito among luxury salons, good drinks, and pretty women. Although in this new installment, the character allows himself to get dirty, his hair to get tousled, and he even perspires. Full review in Spanish.
0 out of 10. Man sweats.
Quantum of
Sexist,
Solace
man.
might not reach the same highs as Casino Royale, but in the context of the entire James Bond franchise, it's hard to say that the film is not one of the better additions, simply considering it is overall competent.
No.
No. Okay.
I decline that review. Can you remove that from the site, please?
I'll file a complaint.
Report it.
Right,
Report
as soon as we're done here, I'll report
outta
it.
here.
Report it, dude.
Well, you
Report
seem
it.
to have some strong feelings, so why don't you give your likes and dislikes for this movie?
So some of the things I liked. It was categorically a more very heavy air quotes thrilling Bond movie. There were high action sequences, quick camera shifts from one scene to another, almost to the point that it's a little hard to follow some of the action sequences because we just keep on changing camera angles every 3 seconds to like 0.2 seconds. Gets a little chaotic there. Bond girl wasn't disposable. That was nice. She stayed, from...
Well, one of them.
Well, yeah, one of the Bond women wasn't disposable. She was plot relevant. She stayed to the end. She had a reason. She had a motivation. And she got to see, like, her plot line through to the end. And that was nice. And that she wasn't just, like, a reason to have Bond banging somebody by the end of the movie. This was a good way to have...
And he didn't even bang her.
No, I know. So it was a good way to have a Bond woman in the movie that was just plot relevant and not bone relevant. But yeah, not my favorite Bond by a pretty long shot. I just nothing about the plot really sold me on anything. It all just seemed like very there's Green and he's he's cares about the planet, but really he just wants this water that's underground for a little bit, and then he's gonna fuck over Bolivia. Neat.
Yeah.
Epic.
It's just I couldn't have given a shit less about any villain's motivation in this one whatsoever, and I was struggling to care at all about why we were here.
They muddy it up a lot because it's sort of supposed to be the revenge plot, because of the whole Vesper thing, but they muddy that in with, they can't just completely go off course and be like, Bond's just going to kill everyone for a movie because he's mad about Vesper, and they want to tie in Spectre eventually. So they lay the breadcrumbs to then, be able to follow
The big ass
this
breadcrumbs.
thing
Ooh, secret organization that we had no idea about, but
breadcrumbs.
all of a sudden we have all of this piling evidence about.
Yes, breadcrumbs is the wrong word.
How
Thank you.
convenient. It's more of like a blood trail, like just a very
Yes, but
obvious.
they lay the groundwork
Yeah.
to then, bring Spectre in later. So
Whatever.
if you're not again, this is another one where it's like, can you just spoon feed it to me a little bit instead of making me work for it? But anyway, likes, dislikes.
I didn't hate it as much as you guys did.
I didn't say anything about hating it.
Anywho,
I hated it. I was not feeling this guy.
I have a large 2-paragraph thing I'll read where I'm a little more glowing about it, despite the fact that I shouldn't. So,
it was definitely a transitional movie.
Yep.
It was definitely a lead-in to the introduction of Spectre. It was a positives, quick plot. They finished the plot. Like, again, the bad guy, he's easily hateable. Like, he's just so
He's got that face.
small and douchey and punchable face where he's just so cocky and arrogant and just a piece of shit. And you're like, like everything about him you hate.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a good villain, I guess, in that sense. It felt darker, depressing because it's a revenge film, because Vesper just died, because he's now drinking a shitload more and he's drunk on the job.
So I was just thinking of that AI somehow.
Yeah.
Stuck like this. Keep going.
My fucking butthole. I don't know. I mean, it was fine. It just wasn't great.
Yeah.
And like that's it. It was them needing an opening into Spectre and just like, okay, well here's fucking something every 2 years.
This was like a season finale to Casino Royale, so we had another movie to go into.
Yes.
Is really what this was. Like, this wasn't its own movie.
Correct.
This was just hey, this could have been like a 40-minute, like, in addition to Casino Royale to tee up.
Yeah. With that said, I liked the action. Mm-hmm. I didn't think it was crazy. I'll give it to you on the boat scene. Boat scene was fucking stupid to me. Like, they could have cut a lot of it out. And
James Bond franchise is obsessed with water.
Yeah.
But,
but like the car chase, I liked the fighting.
The fighting overall was like a little bit more intense and like personable.
Yeah.
It felt like it was like decent combat rather than
Like the intro with Mitchell where Mr. White is like, right? And he's like, yeah. And like Mitchell runs away and they're like, oh, he's been with us for 20 years. And they're like, yeah. But like that whole fight, like it was great. And then you like get further and deeper and deeper. And it like, there's parts that you're just like, the fuck is this?
mm-hmm.
Like, I'm jumping ahead, but like the ending where like the complex is blowing up and like why he gives a shit to go find Cammy, I don't know. How he fucking finds her so fucking fast when it's like everything's on fire, she's in a corner crying, and the building's fucking literally falling apart. And he's like, oh, I need to fucking. And maybe it's like the callback, like, well, I love Vesper and I miss the girl that's in my life and I want to go find the new one. Like, I guess. But
and Bond's a pussy hound. He can sniff out that pussy.
yeah, that's probably true too. He's got a detector just in the back. I don't like
Gaydar. It's the opposite.
it's fucking Cooldar, bro. It's Pussdar.
Cooldar.
Yeah. It was fine. Like you said, it felt like a season finale leading into the next season of some good shit that's about to happen. It was building up. It didn't give us the whole cake. It just gave us like a tiny crumb of cookie.
And it certainly did need an hour and 40 minutes of my time in order to do so.
Yeah.
Yep.
So tell us why it rocked.
Not what I said.
Tell me 2 paragraphs of glowing shit.
Not what I said. So basically, I like it because it's the first solid continuity of the Bond movies.
Yeah.
Like I think I mentioned in the last one, we're supposed to be under the impression that from 1962 to 1989,
It's the same Bond.
this is the same guy, and he looks different. He gets younger. He apparently colored his hair for a while. Whatever. I guess I would have been more okay with the Bonds changing if they wouldn't have done the fucking bullshit fourth wall break on Her Majesty's Secret Service, but they did it, and it bothers me. But this is the same guy following the same storyline from the last movie. That's how you make a series. Like, I might like it more because of nostalgia. When this came out, I was so excited for this after Casino Royale. You know, and then if we stay on long nostalgia, I like the Goldfinger callback with Fields dead, covered in oil.
I thought that was pretty cool.
I like that License to Kill walked so this movie could kind of run, which, you know, you guys don't think it so much ran, but whatever. I wish the revenge flick part of it didn't have to be so muddled up with a new plot.
It less ran and more of cranked out Soldier Boy. Like, there's a novelty
Walked
to
with
it,
a limp.
sure, but...
I wish the revenge flick part of it didn't have to be so muddled up with the new plot, coincidentally. Also like License to Kill, but obviously the plan was to have more movies involve Spectre eventually, so we can't be short-sighted and just have Bond go around killing everyone for, you know, one revenge movie. It's about him still doing his job, trying to figure out the root of everything Lashif was into, while also being mentally unstable, not sleeping, and wanting blood for the death of Vesper. Call it nostalgia, bias, call it whatever you will, but I really love this movie despite its glaring flaws. So, anyway.
And they did glare.
They did glare. I'm not arguing with that at all. I'm saying I like this. You know, maybe you have a friend that nobody likes, you know, but, you know.
He's weird, but he's okay.
But you're friends with that guy. No one gets, but you're just like, you know, but I like him. Like, I'm going to hang out with him Friday. Like, I'm sorry.
You might not know this. That guy's off camera right now.
The guy's off camera for Mike.
We won't even allow him screen time.
Yeah, he was like, "Can I?" And we were like, "No." All right, so yeah, he's crying. Jason, what do you have for your bad trailer?
Bad trailer. I really wanted it to be like Green's vacation montage. We had a nice we had several scenic backdrops, the conversations he was in. He had some parties. You know, he spoke to a couple of things. And then I wanted like a little hint of like The Hangover, where it's like, you know, he gets tossed out of the car in the middle of the desert, and it's like a figure it out type of thing.
Yeah.
So like I wanted it to be like his, like, you know, he was the teacher on sabbatical who just won the lottery. These are the shenanigans he got into.
Yeah.
Ended up in the middle of the lottery type of thing.
I like that.
If you told me he was like an elementary school teacher and then you framed that, I'd be like, oh yeah, checks out.
Good, but
yeah, oh yeah, fucking dead. Check, yeah. I kept trying to tie something into the very beginning when the old woman is just bringing her groceries up and they just like bump her and they fall and shatter.
Yeah.
I was trying to bring something back to like abuse of the elderly.
Sure.
And like somehow tying in like something, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have a bad trailer for this, but for whatever reason, I wanted to take like certain parts that like obviously didn't fucking fit. Like his actually like fit somewhat well, but mine were like, oh yeah, the old woman that dropped her groceries, and you're just like, she had 2 seconds of screen time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's what I want though. But yeah, I couldn't tie it in.
Admittedly, this is a hard one to do an out of context trailer. Excuse me. I really had a hard time with it because I had two that I wanted to do, but I just felt like there weren't enough things.
Pieces.
I mean, these newer Bond movies are doing a better job of kind of staying on point where there's not as many of those out of context things. What I came up with was maybe it's a movie where Bond's just going around trying to prove he's not gay. Because if you take the last scene where he confronts Yusuf, who used to be with Vesper, and there's the Canadian girl.
Yeah. Get out.
Yeah, he tells her to get out. When he says, "Oh, he gave you that necklace, right? I have one just like it." There's a split second where he doesn't explain that.
Yeah.
And Yusuf makes this face. He goes like, he's like, like I'm not gay.
Yeah.
You know, he tells her to get out. Then he gave it to a friend of mine. You know, and then like I felt like that scene could have been so much better if Bond would have been like, we aren't.
Yeah.
Forget.
And then the embarrassment would have caused him to just shoot him. So.
Yeah. You know what? I wasn't gonna shoot you, but you did.
This summer, an espionage romance.
So I just figured you could take like M questioning him, being like, and then take Bond's response, you don't have to worry about me, and then he like slips the picture into his pocket, and when he's on the plane, like there's that, he puts the picture back in his pocket, but Eustace's face is there, and you just like highlight that, while he's staying up drinking.
You do be drunken.
So I'm grasping at straws, but that's what I got. So I'll do my bad summary. Very short. Not oil, water.
Thanks, Jerry Seinfeld.
That's all I got.
Oil?
Not oil, water.
So you're telling me?
Yeah. We got bad summary.
I didn't get a single fucking thing for bad summary.
Nice.
Again, I think
–
because I came from a place of like already just
hate,
not enjoying this movie quite as much.
Yeah.
I was like, it is its own bad summary. Be like,
yeah.
Bond beats up a dude who just wants to sell water. Like, that's what this movie comes down to.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's why, because I was like, oh, well. Because I always look for the thing, because, like, the whole origin of, like, why I say let's do bad summary is the, like, HBO Max summary of The Matrix is, like, a group of, rebel warriors is battling a malevolent cyber intelligence. And you're like, Sure,
I mean,
but like,
kinda.
I guess kinda, yeah, but like, it sort of doesn't work. Also, so anyway. So did you also struggle with bad summary?
Rape Victim Redemption Tour.
There you go.
But she didn't get raped though, because she was too small. Good for
They
her.
raped her eyes.
Oh well, eye rape is
Leading cause of glasses.
Yeah. You got it.
Come on, man, that's our
you'd like to
word.
share with the class.
Oh yeah, no, I got it.
you can't fix this in post.
That's
Well, what'd you have for bad casting then, Mike?
Jack Black as James Bond. Cameron Diaz playing the role from Something About Mary
Okay.
as Cammy. So like a ditzy blonde. And then Evil Villain Green is just Will Smith.
Okay. I stuck with my formula of just, grab movies from the same year. Get Smart was in 2008, so I took Steve Carell from Get Smart to be Bond, naturally.
Rough.
Mathis is
He'd be good.
Ron Perlman from Hellboy 2 that year, but he's still dressed as Hellboy,
Yes.
and we don't acknowledge it whatsoever.
Ron.
Mark Wahlberg was in The Happening in 2008, so he's going to be Medrano, and he's just going to go full Robert Downey Jr. from Tropic Thunder, except Hispanic. Just, Hispanic face and all.
Mucho gusto.
Al Pacino was in Righteous Kill in 2008, so he's going to be Dominic Green, and he's just old and it doesn't work, and maybe he throws a hoo-ah or two in there, And then Anne Hathaway is Camille, and she just white girls it up. And then M, we're going to make Clint Eastwood, because he was in Gran Torino that year, and then he'll just wear women's clothes. And maybe he'll even say, like, get the hell off my lawn a couple times with no context whatsoever.
He's just senile.
I for one, would love a Clint Eastwood dressed in women's clothing doing literally anything.
Yeah. And then, by the way, it already kind of was bad casting. We already had kind of a Mark Wahlberg as Medrano situation here, because Camille's actress's name is Olga Kurylenko.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at any other picture of her, she is white as fuck.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah,
Did
so I don't know.
they tan her
I don't
for
know if
this
she got a
movie?
tan or what the hell it was, but yeah.
Location.
Yeah, it was all okay. Yeah, she started white and then location. Yeah, because she's supposed to be from Bolivia, so whatever. Anyway, Jason,
Take the girl out of Bolivia.
So for Green, I had Chandler Bing from Friends, and no,
Nice.
not Matthew Perry, Just Chandler being hot dropped in
Yeah.
as Green, just with all the sarcasm and the I'm trying to figure out a thing that don't make no sense type of
Could
thing.
I be saving the planet anymore?
Yeah, like it had such the same energy that like it could have been him. Like he was hot dropped in, on one of the. Didn't he go to like out of country or something to avoid the whatever girlfriend he was trying to avoid at the time? Like, oh my god.
Yeah, he went to
Whatever her fucking name is. I can't remember.
Yemen.
Was it Yemen? Yeah, you're right. It was Yemen.
I'm going to Yemen.
So he ended up in South America off of that, and then overtook the Bolivian regime and sold water or whatever.
This is what he was doing in the meantime. Yeah.
And then instead of Bond, we just throw in Dwayne The Rock Johnson because literally nothing that happened in this movie had any class to it, and it could have been.
Oh, come on, man!
It could have been delivered by The Rock because it didn't matter, didn't have any impact. It was just action words. That's how I felt about it.
It's a fair assessment. All right. Well, let's talk about some stuff. So, okay, both you... No,
No, come on,
I was
defend
just
your post.
goofing- No.
Use your words.
I was just goofing around with the
Goofing.
fast-forwarded song, because I'll watch these on 1.5 sometimes just to get through them quicker. I sent you both the 1.5 speed song, and you both said, worst Bond song. Is there any legitimacy to not liking the Bond song, or are you just fucking with me?
No, I'm just fucking with you because I know it's your favorite.
Well, I mean, whatever. I don't care.
Oh, I didn't like it at all.
Didn't like the song?
No, when it started, I was like, all right, like it's kind of a vibe or whatever. But then as the instrumentals kicked in and like the song did nothing with itself, I was like, well, this is fucking dumb.
Okay.
Visuals were cool.
Sure.
It fit the theme. It fit some of the context of stuff. We got a giant naked sand lady,
Right.
which I was very about because we had been missing some sexuality
Yeah, it's been a while.
in our theme songs.
Yeah.
Been a while.
So I was happy about that. But yeah, this song was like super dull for me. It did nothing.
Oh, okay. I didn't. For me, I just like the Jack White of it, and I like Jack White and Alicia Keys' voices together.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I honestly think this was probably like an instrumental issue for me.
Okay.
Just it didn't have any power or good cadence to it.
it was no dance into the fire.
It was not, and that is
Madonna.
No, dude, stop mentioning Madonna.
That is the scale I weigh all themes against.
It was fine.
For me, like, Die Another Day is like the worst Bond song to me.
I know, that's why it's the best.
Yeah, okay.
It was just I sent that to you basically because I know you really like it, and I was the same thing. I was like,
I didn't even know he liked it. I responded with no.
I mean, look, it doesn't bother. I like Jack White. That's all. So,
Do you like him better than Jack Black? Do you think?
as a musician, yeah, maybe.
What? Asking the real questions.
Yeah, Jack White or Jack Black, which is more politically correct? Yeah, okay. Just another government issued $300,000 car that he wrecks.
This is fine.
And we're even more gadget bear in this one. Does the tech at MI6 make up for it? Like you mentioned, the camera instant send deal. And,
I don't.
All the
Oh man, that's
Technology
difficult.
was just
stuff.
used in a different way. It wasn't a
Yeah.
gadget. It was just like put them on the phone or voice commands and get hologram shit on screen.
Yeah.
And like that has a novelty and it has value, but it ain't spy shit. It ain't a gadget.
It's not
Still got the
gadgets,
thirst
but
for
it's
some-
but it's
yeah.
like it's new espionage. It's new spy shit with the tech, but it's not what you're wanting, which is the cue and like the breakdown and the cool
fucking
shit.
gadget.
Yeah.
Is what it is. I want
Yeah.
a gadget.
So I see that. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know. I mean, like it still felt lacking, but it offered something. Because it was cool, like when they're at the opera and he's taking pictures, it shoots over and it comes up on the wall, or not them, but like Tanner's like looking at the monitors and they're popping up. And he's like,
All I know is the like first shot they took of the one dude was like not even a quarter of
Yeah,
his
and
face,
they, like-
and they pulled it out. I was like, "Fuck you!" Like, there's no way you pulled this, man.
yeah,
Dog shit.
yeah.
racial profiling.
It's true.
That guy looks Siberian. It's got to be this guy.
You got any?
So I want to talk a little bit. It's I guess it's kind of two different sections, but it's pacing and filmography. So overall, like Casino Royale, it was a much kind of slower pace. We still had our action scenes; they were high octane when they were there, but like a lot of tension was around the game they were playing. It was a little bit more dialogue driven, and it just wasn't as like, I guess, high intensity and consistently high intensity throughout the movie. Where this one, it's like whenever there's an action sequence, it's a little bit of like a chaos bomb every time something has to happen. And again, with some of that pacing, like going through an action sequence, it's just like, and there's shit happening. Like it feels like that, just being like the observer to it. And then again from like the filmography.
V fucking nom.
Fucking nom. But then from like the filmography perspective, like because there's so many like quick cuts and like there's like, like we'll spend 3 seconds looking here and like 0.2 seconds looking over here and then half a second looking over here. I think about when they were in the plane, and they were doing like all those quick cuts around to show like how intense like this plane that couldn't have been flying that fast. It's a big ass plane, and they weren't doing that much outside of like. I guess the impression versus the reality, it wasn't there for me. So the pacing overall and how it moves its way from dialogue scenes, plot scenes to action scenes. And then just like how it actually handles like those high intensity scenes and any like level of coherence of being able to understand every scene, every camera change throughout that. I struggled with quite a bit because like pacing, sure, like it's okay. We get some dialogue scenes. We got some really extended sections of Bond like not even being on screen, which was bananas to me. And then we get like just these crazy action scenes where just everything is popping off.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to follow when it gets organized like that. It's tough.
Well, I can only say the next movies they dive way more into the action side of it, where I would prefer them to kind of stay more Casino Royale-esque.
Yeah, reel it in.
But,
have a conversation. Build some plot.
I have a feeling you'll be unhappy with the next couple. No? Okay. But, yeah, no, I see what you're saying. I don't know. For whatever reason, I just... Maybe I've watched it enough times and it was just such a big movie for me when I was a kid, but...
Nostalgia factor.
Yeah. Anyway.
How do you feel about it, Mike? Do you want the dialogue? Do you want the plot? Do you want the action? Where does it fit?
Again, I didn't hate it. It was a transitional movie for me. Like, it felt quick. It felt like a lot of little sequences opposed to like a full functioning movie, I guess. Mm-hmm. The one thing that like I have kind of picked up a little bit here or there is Bond with a lot of the villains like interjects himself like into like a tennis match, a golf match, a card game with the villains, so he
gets
can
himself
banter
in proximity.
Yeah, and it didn't happen here. It was like him sitting on a motorcycle outside the complex and he like caught a glimpse and he's like, what about this guy? Like that kind of thing. And it was chaotic and it was hectic a lot of the time. But like looking at segments, I liked it for the most part, but as a cohesive flowing unit, it didn't connect a lot for me. And like you said, like I liked the beginning. I liked the introduction in Haiti. Like the locations were really pretty, and I know you were like, "Oh, so we can just fly a helicopter around, yeah, it's beautiful. We get it. Fuck you," like that kind of thing. Like, yeah, I get it.
They just spend so much time on it with a lot of these, but yeah.
But like, so also side note, like when they shot. It was after the boat chase scene ends and he's like pulling up to the resort or whatever it was in Haiti. I instantly thought like that looks familiar. And I thought, I wonder if they've reshot anywhere a Bond movie, like any locations, like a second, like, oh, we've been here before. We've done this one. Like and like potentially a callback that we all missed, maybe. I don't know. But that like sparked in my head like as a thought because instantly I was like, yeah, that looks fucking really familiar for some reason. I don't know. But like the plane scene for me was like a little over the top and stupid. Like
Yeah, it was stupid. Yeah.
something could have like happened that just like got them out to like discover like, oh, not oil, water. Like, and you're like, oh, and then everything immediately comes together like, oh, no one has water out here. And she's like, oh yeah, they don't.
And like the thing that kills me is that looking back on this, like there was only one specific scene I can remember where any comment was made directly to like, oh, they spend like half of their wages every week or every month on clean water. So I was like, oh, okay, like there was something like that was brought up well before this that indicated be like, oh, here's an untapped market. Half of what the money people earn is going to clean water. I want to own all of that resource.
Is that when he was talking and Green was talking to Madrano?
I can't remember. This was like at the party. I can't remember if that was Madrano he was talking to or if it was one of like the...
It was one of those vendors
like,
and
yeah,
Camille
like the
came
Oh,
over
okay.
and
or whatever
ruined
that
it.
was like, oh, I believe in your cause. Here's some money.
That's right.
Type of thing. But he was like, this is a thing that I heard, and it was, they spend half of their
Yeah.
money on clean water. What do you think about that? And like to me, like sure, that's one thing that comes back and clicks. But like outside of that, the only other way that they really relate that back to like, oh, water is a big issue and could be a profitable market is when it's Beam talking to Felix about like, oh, that water is from a stream and they piss in it.
Yeah.
Their whatever. That
Yeah.
conversation was weird.
Right, the pepper.
Yeah.
I hate that. No, I don't hate. I think that guy is such a bad actor. Jeffrey Wright. I just think he's a terrible actor. I look, at least in the action movie role, I haven't seen him in anything except that new Batman movie and as Felix Leiter in these Bond movies, and I just think he's shit in these roles. That's all. I'm sure he's a great guy.
Westworld guy? Yeah.
More of an East World type of person myself. East Side.
Yeah. Whatever, man. Assalamu alaikum, brother. I like him. He brings like a different feel to Leiter, and so I like him because he's like the cool guy that sits out like, hey, like when they meet at the bar,
I know. I just think
and he's just like, Felix, what do you think? He's like, how much time do I have? And he's like, 12 seconds.
30 seconds.
Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean?
I
shit,
certainly
you're
liked him better in Casino Royale than in this one because I just felt like any scene he was there, he didn't add anything.
He has this
Like
voice he does where he's
It's like a whisper.
it's that
cool
guy that's trying to like so hard to be cool, and you're just like
Me every day of my life.
just ease up on it a little bit. Where it, like in Casino Royale,
over actor.
I'm bleeding chips. All right,
Yeah.
man. Chill.
Fucking chill, Felix.
I don't know.
We're on the same team, brother.
Anyway,
Yeah, I don't know. I like again hitting back to a lot of that stuff is just like, could it have been better?
yeah, the movie could have been much
But
better.
like,
Certainly.
but I think that as well. But like, I don't have like they should have done this instead of this. They should have done this instead of this. It's like, I don't know, scrap the whole thing. Like start over.
I like what you said where you went that this could have been like a 40-minute add-on to the end of Casino Royale. Like you just take away the whole Dominic Green, Quantum, everything because you had enough at the end of Casino Royale to tie into Spectre.
Mm-hmm.
So really, I feel like you just add he goes and investigates, Yusuf, the, Vesper old boyfriend. You
Sure,
have
he
that
still
scene
gets
at
the
the end.
scenario split up to be like, oh, Bond's crazy. He's just out here murking people. Like, I liked the concept of framing Bond to be like a bad guy or like he's gone off the deep end type of thing. And I wish they could have leaned into that in a more meaningful type of way. But
Right.
Well, the other thing with that is, so Bond drops the dude off the roof at the opera. He
just
doesn't
drops him. He
doesn't
shoot
die.
him.
falls on Green's car.
Another
Guy
movie
gets out,
rule. No
shoots him.
context allowed.
Well, dude.
So irritating.
So how does MI6 know so much? They're like, Bond, apparently you shot this guy.
Well, so again,
He's like,
so
fuck, I did.
this being as far as I've gotten.
But he doesn't explain it.
No,
And-
it's so irritating.
And
It's just
again,
like, just explain. They won't call for you.
so this now being the furthest I've gotten into the Craig movies, okay? So
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is as far as my knowledge goes. I came into this movie, and as soon as, like, Tanner came on screen and was feeding information, I was like, that guy's a fucking narc. Like, he's playing for the other team. Like, I was so convinced he was the guy, and then because, like, it felt like we kept on framing Bond for things, and Tanner was the one feeding M all this information, I was like, Tanner's a fucking narc. Like, he's one of the guys. Because, like, she's just blindly
How do you
trusting
not
him.
see this?
M made comment is like, I hope you have better judgment and characters than I do.
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
like, yeah, because you fucking trust this guy who's trying to pin Bond is whatever.
Yeah.
So again, I came into this with all types of thoughts that this was going to end differently, but Tanner didn't matter at all in this movie. Sometimes you lose, but
It happens. One of my things I wanted to hit is it's such an irritating thing. It's like in the last one and this one, not so much the last one, mostly this one. Can we stop acting like it's just this basic task to hold someone captive that's ready to kill you to bring them in for questioning?
Yeah.
Every time he kills someone, M's like, you have to kill every lead. It's like you. There's a guy that wants to kill you.
He came at me with a knife.
The only way to stop someone from killing you is killing them back.
Yeah.
You know, like
Kill him back.
it's not easy.
yeah.
You know, and then how are you gonna trust that guy? You're just gonna subdue him, and then he's gonna be like, okay, yeah, I'll come back with you to MI6.
I'm sorry.
I won't try to kill you anymore.
I'm blanking on that guy's name too, which I feel bad. I'm always terrible with the names. So like he goes into the hotel, he's looking for the dude. He comes out with the knife, you know, and they start tussling around. He throws them through the doors and everything, and they end up on the landing. I don't really understand how that guy died.
Well, he cut
Well,
his
he got
neck.
him in the leg, and then he capped it off by stabbing him in the neck. So I think he got him in the jugular and the carotid. Or what's that one? Is it the carotid? The one on your
I
leg?
think the carotid artery is your neck, though.
Isn't there a vital
Just-
one on your leg? Ghost in the corner. Do you know anything about leg veins? Femoral, yeah.
Artery. There we go.
Well,
I
Fucking
think-
clutch.
I think he cuts him on the neck.
Yeah.
Just in
Because he had
battle.
a thing in his leg.
But
and
then-
in
He
his
was
neck.
holding
Well,
his
he's
neck.
holding his neck.
But like
So I
as
think
he died and let go of his neck, like he was fine.
Well,
Like there was nothing there. So I
Well,
was
the
like,
blood
did he
came out
break
the
his
femoral.
neck?
I
or-
know that when he stabbed him in the leg, it was like, okay, like that's his killing blow. But I
Yeah.
think he just cut his neck on something like in battle.
I don't know. Well, he definitely sounded like he was like with the neck.
Sound is great.
Where
One
have
more
I
time?
heard that noise
Yeah, one more
before?
time. Thursday nights.
Right. It's all coming back.
I don't know. That was just. I thought that was a thing. Of like, look, it's not that easy. Fucking chill.
Yeah.
She lacks field experience.
Well, you know, it's the same thing with all these Bond movies because it's like there's always a chance where it's like, you know, of course your main characters they have to go through, they have to murk everybody in their pathway, and they can only die due to plot relevance. But like I think about all the action sequences where it's like, oh, we're clearing the room, we're shooting everybody, or we're looking for Bond or whatever, and it's like, you know, what if the guy just shows up, he's like, oh, there he is, and then they shoot him. And then, like, that guy gets a promotion later. It's like, it's great, but it's like the plot doesn't even fathom the possibility that somebody could, that anything could exist outside of Bond murking everybody up until the fateful conclusion of this plot line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's so difficult for me.
Yeah.
Because again, it's when he was talking to Felix, he's like, "You've got 30 seconds," and you know, then he runs around or whatever. There's a dude who's like, he's right there,
No.
and he just comes across. He's like,
If anything, the shot gets easier because he hops up onto the bar to then dive behind to get out of the building.
I just don't get it.
Yeah.
It's happened too many times to him because
Plot
also
armor.
when he's at the opera and he like runs away and they start shooting at each other, there's a part where he just turns his back and runs like 12 feet. And one of the trained assassin, like henchman, whatever bodyguards, literally just shoots like 3 feet wide from him with like 3 shots and like hits a paper towel dispenser. Like misses. And I'm just like, okay, well,
Plot
luck
armor.
or shitty or yeah. And you're like, God, the fuck.
It reminds me of how Sean Connery always shot when he was Bond. He would hold it here. Yeah, man, you're getting a lot of aim holding it at your waist. But yeah, whatever.
It's not me. It's my unit.
Henchman. Yeah. Bond henchmen and stormtroopers are one and the same as far as aim.
Oh, truer words have never been spoken.
I like when he hands Camille to a random person after the boat chase. By the way, she gets hit in the head with a boat, and it's like, oh, she's just not.
She got
she'll be
seasick.
fine.
She got seasick.
But he just in a foreign country just hands her off.
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
some
that guy
random
might not have even been staff.
Like,
And
that
then
guy has
just-
a basement, and I think she would be in it. You
Yeah.
know.
And then he just leaves the country.
He didn't
Hope
even get
you're
a
fine.
postcard later. I didn't think that she was fine. He started and he was like, no shit. Did
Greenpeace Planet Party?
yeah.
No way. Let's go do some stuff.
Hey, I'm glad that guy didn't skin you alive in his basement.
Yeah, leave the oil girl.
That was the trade he made. He was like, listen, you can't do that to her, but there's this redhead.
There's this smoke show of a redhead upstairs.
You can oil her up if you know
Eskimo
what
Brothers?
I mean.
What up?
My favorite thing with her was they go in the hotel, and he goes, "I can't find the
The stationery.
and I was just like, well, I wish that line would have been like, "I can't find the sex with you in the other room. Can you help me look?"
See that, and that's where we could have dropped Chandler Bing or something
Yeah.
into it. Where
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I couldn't find the sex with you in the other room. Could
Yeah.
you give me a hand?
Yeah.
I thought a funnier part on that too. Well, not funnier, but another funny part was she's like, "You're coming with me." He's like, "Okay, whatever, fuck it." And she takes him to this shitty hotel. He's like, "What the fuck are we doing?" He just leaves, and she's like, "We're teachers on sabbatical." He's like, No. Come on.
He's like, "Oh, first time."
Yeah,
They go to the
Pay the
bougie
man.
hotel, be like, we're teachers on sabbatical, and we just won the lottery.
yeah.
Give me a nice fucking room.
There, fixed it. See?
Give me
See how
2
easy that
rooms,
was?
one
Just
for the
like
old man.
The most you fucking dumb bitch.
Yeah.
I just love the concept that's Bond's solution to everything. He's like, "Oh, we're undercover and we're being rich. Hey, we won the lottery." Like he just says it's his blanket statement for everything. He's
We
like,
just
"What?
won the
Oh, we won the lottery."
Yeah.
Yeah, like the fucking Jedi. We won the lottery.
Oh, congratulations! You won the lottery.
I won't question anything in this interaction.
Good for you guys.
I think I'm about out of talking points. You guys got anything left?
I really just want to cap off with trying to help me understand why this dude wanting to sell water matters in any way, shape, or form to this almost 2-hour-long movie.
Transitional to the good shit.
It doesn't matter.
Give us your money, idiot.
So much.
You're right.
To anything.
You're absolutely
and
right.
for this to be such a this is why we're here thing.
Just needed a plot. That's simple as it is. I understand your frustration with it. I really do. I promise.
the studio
I promise
needed
that I'm
money.
with you. I know I say I enjoy the movie, but I promise I am with you on it doesn't need to be this muddled. You really only need him confronting Yusuf. That's really what this movie is about. But I know. I'm with you 100%.
It gets better.
Please don't be so sad.
It gets better.
Is there some time with Nestle being a piece of shit? What time period did we find out Nestle, the company, was shitty?
2016.
I think it was earlier.
What did Nestle do?
Slave labor.
No kidding.
Like for cocoa beans or something? Like
No, with the
Jesus,
water,
don't call him that.
I didn't know if maybe there's a tie-in between the selling water. You know what I mean? Snatched up water rights. I know Nestle was.
You're right. You're right.
So I don't know if maybe this movie came out around the time we found
That
big
could be
corporations
interesting.
being shitty with
Yeah.
water rights.
And then they do often throw, real life shit in there.
Because this was 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Damn.
I don't know. I don't know if
I hate that you're providing a little bit of reason to this plot that I fucking hate, but that would kind of do it, right?
Listen, I'm an idiot.
Well, it's a good thing he doesn't have a microphone then, am I right?
As far as you
Don't
are
cut this.
concerned,
Don't cut
this man has nothing of value to say.
Just cut all that out real quick. Just go, wait a sec.
Yeah.
Chop in with a wait a sec. Does this have to tie in at all with...
But don't say it, just voice it over.
Yeah.
It's all right. We can fix all this in post.
Wait a second. Remember Nestle?
Do you have any other talking points?
Not really. I'm glad they didn't use Ford in this one.
I still pretty much. I mean, they were still a sponsor.
Well,
Drives off in the fucking Ford SUV. There were what do you call them? Range Rovers, a Land Rover. I'm pretty sure they're a.
are they like
affiliate.
Okay, I say that, and then I'm pretty sure when he was leaving the hotel in Haiti
And a Ford, yeah.
with Cammy picks him up in like a Ford Fiesta,
Ford
which
Fiesta,
is probably
Ford,
brand new
like,
of that.
yeah.
Never mind.
The first two movies are definitely pretty Ford heavy. I think it falls off by Skyfall, but I don't remember. We'll see.
To be
Be a
determined.
good thing to keep an eye on.
All right, another frustration point to cap off on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any memorable score from this movie that you guys can like pick out? Like any memorable scene where it's like, oh man, like they really came in with that music.
You know what? I'll do one better for you. They used negative sound, as in just quiet, pretty well. So when Cammy gets knocked out on the boat, and like he like, oh, okay, like we're out and we're good to go, it's just dead silent. And it happens a couple of times in the movie where they used like negative space positively. Other than that,
effective.
other than that, no, I don't have a time.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, like specifically, I'm thinking at the beginning. It's not so much music, but it is the sounds of what is actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
Mixed with like the opening shot of like, come in, engine sounds, silence, water shot, which like again with the fucking water shots.
Now
James Bond franchise is obsessed with fucking water.
Oh, yeah,
like
they
to get
are.
wet.
Dude, they're moist as fuck.
Moist towelette.
Now that you say that, the fact that they just picked this movie up right at the end of the other one also leads in, because like he's got the
that's what I
leg
was saying.
wound
I
where
love
Bond
continuity.
shot him.
Yeah.
In the ending of Casino Royale. Now I'm like, I don't know why I'm retarded, and that's just clicking with me as like,
Oh well.
hey, welcome.
Welcome to the podcast,
Yeah.
man.
Been a while.
Been a while.
That's why it's a thing for me. It's just like
Mhm.
real continuity.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Ends, begins, almost zero.
I mean, it pretty much goes away as we go. I mean, Spectre and No Time to Die a little bit, but like, yeah. Anyway, yeah. The only, just the one part I wanted to say is like when Bond's fighting Green when the hotel's on fire. Number one, it would hurt like hell to get pulled up from a ledge by your hair,
dude.
But the other thing is Green attacks him with the axe, and then Bond hits him in the stomach. But logistically, if you hit someone in the stomach that's
You're
already
coming
going
back
to
down.
overhead strike you with an axe, they're going to be forced down.
Mm-hmm.
So you're still going to get hit with a fucking axe. That's all I have to say about that.
I don't know why, but when I saw that in my head, I just heard like old video game, like Nintendo, like.
Should we give this an official rating? With
Sure.
the scale we just made in the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would like to not do the points and just tell you how I feel.
Well,
let's
let's
go through it. Let's go through
let's
it.
go. So the what happened, which ties into originality. Was this plot like how originality would we say?
I
How did
would
that do
give
on
it
Water out of 10,
Water.
or a water out of 3, I guess.
What does that mean exactly?
It means
None?
he hates it. He
0
means he
out of
gives it a
3?
0.
Okay.
I'd give it for that one a 2.
Okay. All right. So
gonna
you're
go-
standing at 0. You're standing at 2. All right. Next category. Who did it happen to? Well, Camille was involved. Those poor people without the water.
Dude, fuck the Bolivians.
The cocoa beans.
I didn't call them coker beans.
I didn't say coker. Did I say coker?
No,
Cocoa
I'm saying
beans.
I didn't.
Cacao.
yeah, at least say it.
Yeah, the cacaos.
Do we like that? What happened to them? The Bond women, Fields was a cum dumpster and she got killed.
Oh,
right?
dude, she's up there for me. Like, hottie.
She was easy.
She was. I can't find the sex with you in the other room.
And just wearing a trench coat and boots.
So the who did it happen to ties in our Bond women. It ties in, our villain.
So
How do we like
the
our
villain, the Bond, the women? I mean, like, Green was easy to hate, so I guess he was a good bad guy. The plot, the scheme he had was fucking fine. I'll go like a 1.5.
1.5 out of 3. So you're at 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
1.5 feels fine.
So you're at 1.5 out of 6.
You're not gonna say water? It's a circle.
It's the circle.
I already know how you feel about the how did it happen with our action sequences, our relevant chases. Well, okay, you can't shit on the chases in this one, right? The chases were
Only
fine,
one
right?
of them.
Oh, the boat chases. Oh yeah, you never told us which chase scene irritated the fuck out of you. Is it the boat?
It was the elongated of doing the car, and then I felt like we just got pretty immediately into a boat chase within the first 30 minutes.
And a leg chase because he chased Mitchell.
Yeah, if we look at just the first 30 minutes of this movie, like probably 13 minutes of it are a chase sequence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd say
Very
higher.
pursuit heavy. Yeah, that's fair.
So again, I weigh that heavily.
Mhm.
Again, being that a thing I struggle with. So overall, though, I mean, a lot of the other stuff was fine. It was just hard to follow. So I would give it like a point.
Okay.
But
So wow, you're at 2.5 out of 9 so far.
Whoa. I would for how. I go 2.5. I mean, I liked the sequences. I liked, like I said,
we watched different movies.
the fuck did he watch? I mean, it's nowhere near a 10, but it's not a 2.5. I don't know.
So
Like I said-
I forget what your other score was. Where are you at now? You do did you have 2.5 already, or were you
I
at
had
3.5?
3.5, so I'm
Okay.
at 6.
So 6. So you got 6 out of 9. You got, what was it? 2.5
6
out
to
of 9.
9. Yeah.
And then
What up?
and then I would say we're not getting any bonus points for Bondisms
Yeah, there wasn't a single one in the.
or our no opening sequence bonus points.
We got Hot Sand Lady. I give that half a point.
Okay.
0.1.
So a solid 3 out of 10 for Jason.
Yeah, Sand's hot.
I feel right with that. I'm not gonna lie. Like
That's
I don't.
fine. Yeah.
I feel right at 3 out of 10 for this one.
As I said before, I understand
10.5.
why this movie is reviewed
yeah, 3 out
badly.
of 10 and a half. Whatever.
I understand why this movie is reviewed badly. For me, I just like it. That's all.
So it's Bondisms.
Bondisms, Bond women utilization, and the opening sequence.
You know, I'll give it a half point for the utilization. I thought the teamwork with him and Camille was good. Other than that,
being a cum dumpster was nice.
yeah, like to see
Well,
like
to Bond at least. She was a cum dumpster to Green.
yes.
Yep, I stand on not giving it a half point for that.
I stand on strong legs. No, I'm no for the Bondisms. The half point for the utilization. I'll do that. So I ended it at 6.5 out of 10.5.
I think I'm gonna land on. I do understand why this movie's bad. So I'll probably say.
However, I love it.
Well, what happened? I'm gonna say 1.
Ooh, hot take.
Just because, like, look, we could have
Yeah.
been a little more efficient about the
40-minute
storytelling,
special.
and we didn't. Yeah. I completely agree with that. Who did it happen to? Let's go with a 2. Are you just eating the lime?
Yeah, he's
All
just
right. Do it on mic at least, so we really
fuck him with
get the
limes.
effect. How did it happen? I liked all the chases. I liked the action sequences. I'm gonna go with the 2. Puts me at 5. And then I like Fields. There were no Bondisms. Although we had I think she has handcuffs, and he says, "I do hope so." I mean, that's like It's like half a Bondism.
Yeah, but
That's-
I'm
are
not
you
gonna give it.
just-
I'm not gonna give it bonus points for
That's
Bondism.
just
I'm
flirty,
just
my guy.
saying. It's like he's like getting there. He get it. The
It's about as
Bondisms.
close as we got.
The Bondisms increase as the movies go. So,
Sure.
but I like the song and the opening sequence, so I'll give it the little half point. So, I think that leaves me at what was I at? 5,
You're
5
at
and a
5.
half. I'm gonna go 5.5.
Oh my god, I scored it higher than you.
Wow. You didn't even like this movie.
But oh man, that
But
car
I
is
didn't
really-
hate it.
Hold on. I feel like I gotta add a point in there somewhere because I really like the Aston Martin, despite the fact that it's
Destroyed.
gone so quickly. We'll go with the solid 6.
Aaron Hernandez gone forever.
All right. Well, that's it.
That was Quantum of Solace.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Thanks for listening, watching all that bullshit, and yeah, bye.
R.